Well, Your Excellencies, Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Justice, distinguished speakers, Dr. Kittipong, Dr. Teplova, attendees, it's a great honor for me to speak today to the forum. I want to thank the Thailand Institute of Justice, a global leader in advancing justice reform, and the Standard for hosting such an important event. The theme of today's forum, competitiveness, is relevant to Thailand and many other countries as well. So I represent the World Justice Project, and we're happy to be a co-sponsor of this event. We are an independent organization that works to advance the rule of law globally. Now, as other speakers before me have noted, effective rule of law is a foundation underpinning development, accountable government, and respect for fundamental rights. It is also a cornerstone for sustained economic growth and an important and underappreciated element of competitiveness. And that is why today's forum is so important and timely. Now, the World Justice Project, WJP, produces data and indicators on the rule of law. Notably, as Dr. Kittipong was saying, the Rule of Law Index, which measures how the rule of law functions in now 143 countries across the world. Now, please stay tuned for the 2025 edition of the Rule of Law Index, which will be released shortly on October 28th. Now, the index measures how people experience the rule of law across a number of factors, including criminal and civil justice, regulatory enforcement, corruption, open government, order and security, and respect for fundamental rights. Now, what have we seen in the world regarding the rule of law? Globally, we've seen a rule of law recession over the last 7 years. Now, that is to say, we've seen a decline in the rule of law where the number of countries where the rule of law has deteriorated exceeds the number of countries where it's improved, according to the measurements of the Rule of Law Index. And this has gone on now for 7 years. Now, what does this have to do, and what do lawyers have to do with competitiveness? Well, quite a lot. I will share a few charts that I think that you will find interesting to demonstrate some of the linkages that I am talking about. As many of you know, the stronger rule of law or better rule of law is associated with stronger economic performance. Now, I'm sure this is not a surprise to most of you, but what does it mean in practice? Concretely, what are the channels through which the rule of law affects competitiveness and economic, financial, and business outcomes? So let's start with civil and commercial justice. This specific slide shows how important components of civil justice have deteriorated globally over the last 7 years. So, for example, civil justice in many countries is not free from improper influence or unreasonable delay, and in many countries, it's not effectively enforced. Now, this has very concrete implications for competitiveness. So, to give you a specific example, this has important implications for contract enforcement, where businesses, or some businesses, may have trouble ensuring that contracts are honored. So this clearly affects competitiveness. Now, let's talk about corruption, which is also a component of the rule of law, as earlier speakers have noted. I'm sure most of the people understand in the audience well the challenges that corruption pose for competitiveness. So, for example, what is the degree of corruption in the judiciary, the police, the public administration? And corruption can have direct costs, such as the payment of bribes or public investment that doesn't have the intended impact because of corrupt procurement practices. But corruption can also distort or restrict competition if firms and individuals are treated differently. I'll mention briefly a few other areas of the rule of law that are important to competitiveness. Open government. Open government ensures all firms have equal access to government information. Freedom of arbitrary interference is likewise central to a level playing field. And order and security, that is, civil conflict and crime are contained, is central to a good environment for individuals and businesses to grow and thrive. My central message is that first, the rule of law is a development issue, and second, that the rule of law is a competitiveness issue. Sound rule of law is important for a thriving domestic market that ensures equal access to all individuals and firms, and it is equally vital for a country and its firms to successfully compete internationally. Competitiveness will lead to more investment, jobs, growth, and greater opportunity for Thailand and all countries' citizens. Thank you very much and for the opportunity to speak to you today.